Hello, in this video I'd like to approach the Linux distribution Slacks. Slacks based in Slackware Linux. It's a very lightweight distribution that is coming long way. Just recently noticed that it's based on Debian. But what I like to do is customize the boot image and the background scripts to actually make it look more like custom. The steps that we want to follow to achieve this is of course to download the Slack ISO image, which is 269 megs. Create a virtual hard drive in your machine, about 4 gigs, or um, it could be less, but 4 gigs is a good size. Formatted on FAT32. Use the universal USB installer to copy the or install the ISO image directly into this virtual hard drive. We want to override the boot logo with this mounted drive. We use VirtualBox to start the virtual machine, and the new logo should be there. We open a browser and download the wallpaper. Once we have everything, we can actually do changes like using apt-get to install and then reboot the drive. Basically, the end result will look something like this. This is actually running HTOP, and as you can see, it's actually Slack Linux just running everything. If I do a quick screen share, I can see that it's based on Debian, uses the kernel 4908, it's using the Windows Manager Fluxbox and the Windows Slacks. If I just do a reboot, right here you can actually see the background has been customized, some Debian logo, and if I do a reboot, it is extremely fast. This actually is going to start VirtualBox. It's going to have my custom boot screen. I can run with persistent changes. It's going to start my virtual machine, and once it does it, we see that it will go directly into X, and that's it. It's blazing fast. It's not taking even about 2% of the memory. It's just basically Slack's customized. So let's go ahead and get started and see how I get this done. Of course, with VirtualBox, you can always, once you download the image, just create the image and point to the default. This case, you can see using this, I can remove that part and just select my ISO image, which could be Slack's default. And if I just start it, it just gives me the default. Slacks. So that's the default what you get with 9.6. Pretty clean, pretty fast. And there is. But we wanted to customize, so let's get started. Let me just go ahead and remove this machine completely. And let me start with my machine. In computer management and this management. Let me just create a virtual hard drive. I want to put this is the previous one, what it was, I want to call it X2. It's a virtual hard drive, Slacks2 or demo. and save it. It's going to be 4 gigs, and it's going to be dynamically expanded. It's a virtual hard disk. That's it. For some reason, I cannot create a volume. It's a little bug on the computer management. I believe Windows 10 addresses this issue, and it ceases right away. But I can go back and reopen it. It will detect that it's a new one. It's a master boot record. And right here, I should be able to create a new simple volume and go for that. The defaults are fine. I want to just mount it into the S drive as a slacks, and just gonna format it on FAT32. Quick format is fine, and that's it. I'm comfortable with the changes. There's my S drive. So we have an S drive that we can actually use the program Universal USB Installer. I can select my slacks distribution. I can browse my ISO images, select the slacks 64 9.6, show all the drives. In this case, there's a new volume, the FAT32 for the one we just created. Yes, we actually going to overwrite. It's going to copy everything, and once it does that, it's going to say it's copy done, complete. So basically, we can see that the S drive, it does have my files, like the core firmware. I can go to the boot part and say this is the default logo, the boots and install. So what we want to do is start customizing this to our taste. I have a boot logo and the original. I'm gonna just copy and override that. So the new logo is gonna look something like this, much better. So that being said, I can just kind of close my computer management, and eventually I can my PC and dismount or eject my drive. In that case, I can go back to VirtualBox and create another slacks demo, and this is going to be based on Linux using some other form of 64-bit Linux. I like to give it about 248. Doesn't need that much, but overall that's what I do. I choose the drive. I'm going to select the demo, the one you just create, and I'm going to do create. I can just go ahead and fire up. Start the virtual machine. Once the virtual machine comes up, now I can see that actually my changes are there. My boot screen, I can see persistent changes. Now the background is still going to be the previous one because we haven't changed that yet. But that's okay. And we change the Slack, this little text message, everything can be changed. So right here, basically fast. Very responsive, very nice. So on root, on user share, use wallpaper. There's a Slack wallpaper. So what we wanted to do here is maybe, since this is based on Debian, I'll look for some background, JPEG backgrounds. Like this. This one save and guest downloads. I'm gonna call it a Slacks wallpaper.jpg. guest downloads. So what I want to do is user share, we'll say, uh, oh, I'm already here. So I'm going to move from home guest downloads here. So it's a different one. If I go back here from share, go to wallpapers. Now we have a black background that we added. Notice here we have 270 megs of size, and I don't have a screen fetch. So I can take advantage of app. Basically what it does, it connects to the Debian repositories, start downloading the file, and eventually we end it with the package install. So it makes it super easy to install a bunch of software that you need. We start in 260 megs, so you have plenty of room to install everything you can possibly want as far as development environment, programming, or something. And with the program. So now let me go ahead and just reboot, and I expect to see the changes applied for my background, the boot logo. That's good. And once I change it, I can see that Slack is booting correctly, and I should be able to see. I need to customize probably those text and maybe do the extension. There's a new background. I can see there's a new background here, which is nice. And we can actually have still very responsive, still very, very well done. One thing that got my attention after I just installed a small package, see how we would change to 430. Seems like it put a lot of data here. Not sure why it grew so much. Maybe we need to recompact some of the slacks to compress it to the maximum as possible. I need to check into that, maybe video 2. The other part is there's ridiculously amount of memory is using. Still 430 megs for all this. It's not bad at all. Need to put some toys, more software, and or software for packages there. So there you go. This is a way to customize your logo. Hopefully you enjoy it, and the technique that we follow was pretty simple. Just to recap, download your virtual drive, use Universal Installer to copy the ISO to the virtual drive, override the boot logo, dismount the drive, boot the VirtualBox, and download user show wallpapers, app install a screen fetch, and reboot the drive. Have fun. Hopefully you enjoyed, and see you in the next video. Please comment if you have any questions or comments. Thank you and have a great day.